1. Introduction. My name is Pretty. I am 18 years old. I live with my mother, Marie, and my stepfather, John. John came into my life when I was 10 years old. Before he joined our family, it was just my mother and me. But John brought a lot of joy and stability. He was always a very kind and wonderful person. He made my mother happy, and he treated me like his own daughter. He often bought beautiful flowers for Marie, and he would surprise me with small, thoughtful gifts. These gestures made our home feel warm and full of love. John worked in real estate. He was very good at his job, and he earned a good income. This allowed our family to live a comfortable and secure life. We lived in a nice house in a quiet neighborhood. We never had to worry about money. From the outside, everyone saw us as a perfect family. We often went on vacations together. We celebrated all holidays with big meals and many laughs. Our friends and relatives always said how lucky we were to have such a happy home. I truly believed them. I felt that our family was strong, loving, and without any problems. I had just finished high school, and this was a very exciting time for me. I was 18 and ready for the next big step in my life. My biggest dream was to go to college. My mother and John had promised me many times that they had saved enough money for my entire college education. This promise made me feel incredibly secure and happy about my future. I spent hours thinking about college life. I imagined studying interesting subjects, meeting new friends, and growing into a confident young woman. I pictured myself walking across a campus, full of hope and ambition. I believed deeply that my future was not only secure, but also very bright. I felt that I had everything I needed to succeed. My parents' love and support, along with the money saved for my studies, gave me a strong foundation. I thought that nothing could go wrong. My path seemed clear and full of good things. I looked forward to starting this new chapter with a heart full of excitement and no worries. I was confident that my life would continue to be happy and peaceful, just as it had always been. I felt truly blessed and ready for whatever came next. 2. A bad phone call. One night, it was very late. I woke up because I was very thirsty. The house was dark and quiet. I walked slowly down the stairs to the kitchen. Our home was usually a place of peace. As I got closer, I heard a voice. It was John's voice. He was talking on the phone in the living room. His voice was not normal. It was low, but also nervous and angry. I had never heard him speak like that before. It made me stop. I felt a strange feeling. I moved quietly and hid behind the wall near the living room door. I wanted to hear more, even though I felt I should not. I heard John say, "I will win it back. I promise. Don't send them yet. I just need one more chance." My heart started to beat very fast. It felt like a drum inside my chest. I did not understand all the words, but I understood the feeling. Something was very wrong. This was not the kind, steady stepfather I knew. A wave of fear went through my body. What did win it back mean? Who was them? Why did he need one more chance? These questions spun around in my head. Soon, John stopped talking. He hung up the phone with a sharp sound. I watched him from my hiding place. His hands were shaking a lot. They trembled as he walked to the kitchen counter. He picked up a glass and a bottle. His fingers struggled as he poured a strong drink. His hands were still shaking as he lifted the glass. He drank it quickly. His face was tight, not the smiling face I knew. His eyes looked tired and troubled. This was the first time I had ever seen John like this. He looked worried, almost desperate. The perfect picture of our family seemed to crack that night. I went back to my room quietly. I could not sleep. The words "win it back" and "one more chance" stayed in my mind. It felt like a heavy weight had landed on my shoulders. Something big was wrong, and I had heard it. My comfortable world suddenly felt unsafe. I lay in bed for a long time, thinking about John's angry and nervous voice. The night felt different now. It was no longer peaceful. It held a secret, a worrying secret. I knew that things might not be as happy as they seemed. The silence of the house felt heavy, full of unspoken worries. 3. No more money. The next week, my mom, Marie, and I went to the bank. It was an important day. We needed to pay for my college studies. We walked inside the big building. The air was cool and quiet. We waited in a line, and soon it was our turn. Mom sat down at a desk with a bank worker. I sat right next to her. Mom told the worker our account number. The worker looked at her computer screen for a moment. Mom waited with a small smile, ready for good news. But the worker's face did not look happy. It was serious. Then, Mom looked at the screen herself. Her face became very white. Her eyes opened wide. She turned to the worker. Her voice was quiet, almost a whisper. "Where is the money?" she asked. The worker spoke softly. "Madam, the account is almost empty." My mom could not believe what she heard. She looked at John, who was standing close by. He quickly put on a smile. He tried to look calm. "It must be a bank error," John said quickly. "Don't worry, Marie. I will go and talk to them. I will fix this problem." But I knew it was not a mistake. I remembered John's phone call from last week. I felt a cold fear inside me. My heart felt very heavy. I knew something was terribly wrong. Later that night, everyone in the house was asleep. I could not sleep. I kept thinking about the empty bank account. I kept hearing John's words. I decided I had to find the truth. I needed to know what was happening. I quietly walked to John's office. The house was dark and silent. I opened the door very carefully. I turned on a small lamp on his desk. Its light was soft. I looked at the desk. There were many papers on it. My hands were shaking a little as I started to look through them. Then I saw them. Papers with many numbers and strange words. There were small slips of paper that said bet and win and lose. I saw many pages printed from online gambling websites. They showed lists of money that was lost. And then I found papers about debts. They were for very big amounts of money. My breath stopped. It was all true. John was gambling. Suddenly, the office door opened. John stood there. He looked at me, then he looked down at the papers in my hand. His face lost all its color. He looked very pale. He whispered my name, Pretty. His voice was very soft and full of fear. Then he said, "Please don't tell your mother." I stood still, holding the papers. My world felt broken into many pieces. 4. The secret is out. John sat down. His face was pale. He looked at Pretty. He began to speak. He told her his secret. He had a gambling problem. He started gambling 2 years ago. He won some money at first, but soon lost more and more. He tried many times, but he could not stop. The desire to gamble was too strong. He explained he used the college money to pay his gambling debts. He had many debts. He thought he could win the money back and replace it before anyone knew. He did not want Marie, Pretty's mother, to find out. Pretty listened. Her heart felt heavy, and she felt sad and angry. Tears came to her eyes. "How could you do this? To Mom? To me?" she asked, her voice shaking. She could not believe it. John was not the man she thought. He had hidden a big secret and taken her future. John reached out and took Pretty's cold hand. He looked at her with fear. "Please, Pretty," he begged softly, "give me one last chance." He said, "I promise I will win the money back, just a little more time." He held her hand tightly. "Do not tell your mother. If you do, she will leave me. Our family will break apart." Pretty did not know what to do. She was still angry, but she also saw John's fear. It was a difficult choice. She thought about her mother and her family. She did not want them to break apart or her mother to be sad. She wanted her college money back. She thought for a moment. "Okay," she said quietly. "I will give you a few weeks. You must win the money back and put it all back." She made a mistake by agreeing, though she did not know it then. She hoped he would keep his promise and fix everything. She wanted to believe him and have her old life back. She left his office, her mind full of worry. The secret was now hers too, a heavy weight. She wondered if she made the right choice. Sleep did not come easily. She just wanted her life to be simple and happy again. This secret would change everything. 5. A lucky day. For several weeks, the house felt different. John spent most evenings in his office. I could hear the sounds of his computer late at night. He looked tired in the mornings, and sometimes his face showed worry. I knew he was still gambling, trying to win back the money. I felt a heavy feeling in my heart. I wanted him to succeed so that our family could return to normal. I hoped he would win soon and everything would be okay again. Each day, I waited for good news, but the weeks passed slowly with no change. Then, one morning, everything changed. John came into the kitchen with a very big smile on his face. He looked excited. He held a piece of paper in his hand. "Pretty," he said loudly. "Come here, look at this." My mom was also in the kitchen. She looked surprised by John's sudden energy. John looked at me, his eyes bright with joy. "I did it," he shouted. "I finally won." My mom asked what he meant, but John was focused on me. He showed me a screen on his phone. There was a very large number displayed. It was a big amount of money, more than enough to cover my college fee. My eyes widened as I saw the number. I felt a strange mix of feelings. Part of me was happy and relieved. Another part of me was still worried, remembering his earlier failures. John hugged me tightly. "I told you I would fix it," he said, his voice full of happiness. He looked genuinely pleased with himself. He looked me directly in the eyes. "This is it, Pretty," he promised. "I am finished with gambling for good. I have truly learned my lesson. I will never do it again." His voice sounded sincere, and his expression was serious. I wanted to believe him completely. I wanted to trust him again, and I wanted our family life to be peaceful and normal once more. I hoped this big win would truly be the end of his secret problem. Just a few days later, John went to the bank. He transferred the winning money to the college account. My mom was very happy when she saw the payment confirmation. She thought the bank had simply made a mistake earlier when the account was empty. She never knew the truth about John's gambling. I kept John's secret, watching my mom smile. It had been a long time since she looked so relaxed and free from worry. I felt a small sense of relief myself. Perhaps, I thought, it was truly over. I decided to believe John. I hoped this was a new start for him and for our family. I wanted to forget the stressful times and look forward to starting college. John slowly started to act like his old self again. He was kind and funny, just like before. The tension that had filled our house slowly disappeared. I hoped this lucky day meant that everything would be okay now. I truly hoped he had stopped gambling for good and that we could all have a happy future. 6. The last lie. A month passed. Pretty felt happy for a short time. She thought everything was okay. But soon she saw changes in John. He started to look tired. He was nervous again. He stayed out late many nights. Pretty remembered the bad phone call from before. She remembered the betting slips. A bad feeling came back to her. She watched John carefully. She saw his eyes move quickly. He often checked his phone. His smile was not real. Pretty knew something was wrong again. John was going back to his old ways. One evening, John said he had to work late. He often said this now. Pretty decided to follow him. She waited until he left the house. Then she walked quietly behind his car. She kept a good distance. She did not want him to see her. John drove to a part of town Pretty did not know well. It was a dark street. There were old buildings there. He stopped his car near a small, dark club. Music was loud inside. Pretty felt scared, but she needed to know the truth. She got out of her car and walked closer to the club door. Pretty looked through a window. Inside, many men were standing around tables. They were shouting and laughing. There was a lot of noise. Pretty saw John. He was at a table with cards. He had many chips in his hands. He was throwing them onto the table. His face was different. It was wild and excited. He did not look like the John she knew. He looked like a stranger. Pretty watched him lose money. He kept playing even when he lost. He could not stop. Pretty felt sick in her stomach. Her heart was heavy. She knew John had lied again. His promise was broken. Pretty went home quietly. She did not say anything to John. She felt very sad and angry. She did not want to believe what she saw. A week later, the telephone rang. It was the college office. The woman on the phone sounded serious. She said, "Hello, Pretty. We are calling about your second semester fee. It has not been paid." Pretty felt cold. She asked, "What do you mean, we paid it?" The woman replied, "No, the money is not here. You need to pay soon." Pretty knew then. The money was gone. John had gambled it away again. That night, Pretty waited for John. When he came home, his face was tired. Pretty stood in front of him. "You lied to me," she said. Her voice was shaking. "You promised you would stop. You promised the money was safe." John looked at the floor. He could not look at her eyes. "Pretty, please," he whispered. "Give me one more chance. I can win it back. I just need one more time." But Pretty shook her head. She had heard these words before. She had believed them before, not this time. "No," she said. Her voice was strong now. "I do not believe you anymore." She knew what she had to do next. 7, a hard choice. I decided to tell Mom everything. I sat her down and told her the entire story. I spoke about John's secret phone calls, the missing college money, the betting slips, and his big win. Then I told her about his broken promise and the call from the college. I explained how the money for my second semester was gone. Mom listened. Tears started to fall from her eyes. She cried for a long time. She looked very sad, almost broken. It was very hard to see her like that. She had trusted John, and now she knew his lies. The next morning, Mom was upset but strong. She called a lawyer. After that, she told John to leave our house. John begged her. He cried and said he was sorry. He promised to change. But Mom did not change her mind. She told him his promises meant nothing anymore. John packed a few things and left. The house felt strange and empty without him. Mom started the process to end their marriage. She filed for divorce. It was a sad time for both of us. Now, we had no money for my college studies. All the savings were gone, used by John for his gambling. I knew I had to find a way to pay for my education myself. I could not give up on my dreams. I started looking for work. Soon, I found a part-time job at a small cafe near our home. I worked there after school and on weekends. It was tiring, but I knew I had to do it. I also spent many hours applying for different scholarships. I filled out many forms and wrote about why I needed help. It was a hard time for us. My mom was dealing with the divorce, and I was trying to earn money and find scholarships. But even though it was difficult, I felt a new kind of strength. I was learning to stand on my own. We were starting a new life, just Mom and me. 8. My new life. Many months passed. Our lives slowly felt normal again. John was gone. The house was quieter, and we found a new peace. My mom, Marie, and I became much closer. We talked more, shared meals, and spent quiet evenings together. Our bond grew stronger, like two parts of a tree healing after a storm. I kept working hard at the cafe. Every day, I served coffee and cleaned. It was tiring, but I knew it was important. I also studied for scholarship applications. I wrote about my dreams for college. It was not easy, but I did not stop. The memory of past disappointment pushed me forward. Then, good news arrived. I got a letter for a small scholarship. It was not enough for everything, but it helped a lot. It showed me that my hard work mattered. I felt proud. This money was mine, earned by my own effort. This whole time taught me a painful lesson. I learned that big secrets can deeply hurt people. They can break families and change lives forever. John's gambling secret destroyed our trust, but I also learned that truth, even if hard at first, can lead to a better future. It can help you start fresh. The day for my first college class arrived. I walked onto the campus, feeling both nervous and excited. I found my classroom and took a deep breath. As I sat down, I felt strong. I had faced lies and loss, but I was still here. I was ready for this new chapter. This was my new beginning. I would build an honest life for myself.